Hello, everybody. Welcome. It is my pleasure to officially kick off the 2020 virtual walk season. Obviously, this is much different than we were all expecting this year, but life is much different for everyone. But this is still a great opportunity for us as the state of Texas to come together and to fight ALS together. We're all here for different reasons, in honor and memory of someone fighting this disease. And it's our privilege as ALS Texas to be a place where we can bring the community together, where we can stand shoulder to shoulder and fight this disease together. And this is a time, the walk season time is a celebration of life. It's a celebration of hope that one day this world will be rid of this disease, and we truly believe that, and that's why we walk. We walk so that we can provide resources to our families and one day end this disease. And so welcome everyone. We're so glad that you're here. And it's going to be an exciting walk season. Like I said, it'll look different, but just as exciting, and we can stand together throughout the state of Texas. So it is also my privilege to introduce our Team Texas, who are your concierge service throughout the walk season, who's going to be here to support you, to help you raise money, to give you all the logistics, and to create a really great event experience for everyone in Texas. And so it's my pleasure to introduce the team, and I'm going to allow them to say a little bit about themselves and why they walk. So first, I'll give it off to Michelle.
Hi, everyone. My name is Michelle Miller. I have been working with people and families with ALS for over 11 years now, specifically with fundraising for them. And please know that you can reach out to me anytime. I am your personal fundraising coach to ensure that we can spread the word about what ALS is and additionally raise funds to continue services and expand our services here in Texas.
Hi, everyone. Hi, my name is Ann Dooley, and I'm a Regional Development Coordinator in this great state of Texas. And I'm here to help Michelle and help our walk teams with fundraising and event logistics. I walk in support of my friends fighting against ALS.
Hi, my name is Chloe Heffelfinger, and I am a development coordinator for the association. I am wearing my party hat today because we are about to have a fun little party, and I walk to help find a cure for ALS.
Good afternoon. It's good to see everybody. I'm Paige Rideout. I'm the regional director in the Houston area. I also handle the sponsorships statewide. If you have any questions or ever need anything, feel free to reach out. This is a great team we've got here, and we're all looking forward to a great walk season. This is my third year in the Walk to Defeat ALS, and our team is the Ward Warriors, and I walk to support my friend.
Awesome. Thank you, Team Texas. Paige definitely wins the biggest hat award, I think, today. I think that can barely fit her screen. But definitely showing the personalities of our team. But just as a little insight, if you've been a part of the walk in the past, you would have had a walk person just in your city helping you walk through this. Because of everything that's happening, we've gone to virtual and one-day big celebration for the walk. You have access to the entire team throughout the state of Texas as we walk through this. Now, you will probably have somebody you talk to throughout more regularly, but this is your Team Texas, and they're going to be here to walk you through this walk time. And so it's exciting, and they're a great team, and I know they're here to work hard for you. So next steps are we're going to look and say a big thank you to our sponsors. We have corporations throughout the state of Texas that put in their time, their money, and everything to ensure that we can complete our mission. And part of that is their sponsorship of our walk and our partnership really with the walk campaign. And there's some individuals we really want to take time to thank. First, Respiratory Quality Services, RQS, providing respiratory service to our families living here in Texas with this disease. The Gordon Hartman Family Foundation have been a foundational partner of ALS Texas for quite some time. Travis Medical, one of our DME partners, providing medical equipment to people throughout Texas, and a wonderful family-owned business here in Texas doing great things. And then, of course, but definitely not the least, the best grocery store in the state of Texas, HEB. Get that breath of fresh air as soon as you walk in that grocery store. So big, huge thank to HEB and our sponsors making that happen. Some national sponsors that we have that choose to sponsor and support the walk throughout. the United States is the New Motion Foundation, Mitsubishi Tanabe Pharma, and Per Mobile. So big thank you to them. And then next, we have some local sponsors that have been involved for a long time throughout their regions with the walk. And so I just also want to say a big, huge thank you to those consistent sponsors that we have listed here on the page. Yeah, and then the people that really make this walk happen are our committee members. Now, normally on a regional and a Dallas walk or a Houston walk, you might see a couple. These are your committee throughout the state of Texas. These are the people meeting on a regular basis to help create new ideas, help fundraise, make connections for our team, and really make this walk happen. There are far too many to name, but I just want to take an opportunity to say a huge thank you to our committee members. The simple fact is we could not make this walk happen without you. And so a big, huge thank you to our committee members for always investing their time, their talents, and their resources into making this walk happen. So a big, big, huge thank you to our committee members. But at the end of the day, this is about you. Being a part of our walk program, whether you're a person living with the disease, a caregiver, a family member, a friend, this happens because of you and it happens for you. And so I just want to say thank you to you today for joining the call, deciding to be a part of the walk and making a step closer to us and accomplishing our vision of creating a world without ALS. You know, ALS can be an isolating disease by itself. And over the past 6 months, it's been a struggle for people living with this disease. And this is a time for us to come together as a state, stand by each other, and stand for those living with this disease and really speak hope into this community. And so that's why you're here. You're also here to ensure that we have the resources as a chapter to move forward, to find a cure for this disease and to care for those who live with this disease now. So big, huge thank you, because we know it takes time, it takes effort. And so a big thank you to you. And to talk a little bit about how, what we do as an organization to serve people. Now, it looks different than it ever used to during COVID, but we've been able to adapt and change and still provide a high quality and level of service to our families and still pursue research to find a cure for this disease. But to talk a little bit about what that looks like for our chapter right now, I'm going to pass it off to our wonderful Director of Mission Delivery that's been serving the ALS community for close to 15 years, Mr. Steve Morse. I'll give it over to you to talk about the things we're able to do right now.
Thank you, Tanner. I appreciate that. Yes, this year has been very unusual. You could probably use a lot of adjectives for that. But the fact is our mission of finding a treatment and a cure for ALS, it still continues. And we're still committed to serve and advocate for and empower people living with this disease. And so ALS, as you know, it didn't stop when COVID entered our world. In fact, during this time that we've been battling COVID, we've actually connected with 176 newly diagnosed individuals across Texas. That's 176 individuals and families whose lives have really been just rocked by ALS during a pandemic. We all know how stressful it's been, but I can't even imagine how even more stressful it is for people diagnosed with ALS. We've all experienced a certain level of anxiety and stress, anger, and probably a lot of other feelings and emotions. But we truly believe that the walk is an opportunity for the ALS community to come together. We can channel all emotions, all that fear and anxiety and stress and anger, and we can channel all that and really fight hard for a treatment and a cure through the walk this year. As you guys know, the walk may look a little different this year, but we are really excited at the thought of just, for the first time, all of Texas, from El Paso to Houston, from Amarillo to the Valley, and everybody in between, joining together on the same day at the same time and walking to defeat ALS. That's exciting to us. So as Tanner mentioned, we've had to make some adjustments this year because of the in-person contact. We've had to try to figure out how do we continue to serve people across Texas and be a resource for families. My wife's a big hugger. If you've met her, she's probably given you a hug. But it's been an adjustment to not be able to like have that physical contact with people, to not hug them or shake their hands, and to try to connect with people over the computer screen. It's a different world right now. But even in the midst of all those changes and adjustments, all the logistical challenges and limitations, we're excited because we were still able to loan out 247 pieces of equipment to patients across Texas. And that's a big deal. That's a very tangible need that we've been able to meet. And so we're excited about that. As we've mentioned, we've made the shift from a lot of in-person activities to hosting activities on these virtual platforms. Zoom has entered into our daily vocabulary, as I'm assuming it has with a lot of people. During COVID, we've hosted 76 virtual events that include our monthly connection groups, presentations, and different workshops for people. And the exciting thing is we've had over 500 people engaged with these virtual events so far during COVID. So this has allowed us, even though it's a different way of connecting, it's allowed us to reach out and connect with people we weren't able to connect with before. Another exciting opportunity that is here in Texas involves our three of our clinics, our multidisciplinary clinics. Some of you may have gotten some word about the Healy ALS platform trial. 3 of our clinics, one in Dallas, one in Houston, and one in San Antonio, are going to be host sites for the Healy ALS trial. And that might not mean much to most people, but basically it's a new approach that ALS researchers are adopting in the clinical trial design to be able to test more potential in a more efficient way, because we all know that the clinical trial process needs to speed up a lot. So we're excited about that, and we've already got a lot of interest in that trial across Texas. So, but we can't continue the fight for the treatment and the cure and to be a resource for families without you. You're the ones who make it possible for us to serve families. You're the ones who make it possible for care to continue through our clinics. You're the ones who help us make sure that research for a treatment and a cure continue. You're the ones who help us to advocate for changes in legislation that help our families battling ALS. Right now, we are connected with about 950 individuals with ALS across Texas. 950 individuals that are battling ALS on a daily basis. And without you, there is no research, there's no advocacy, there's no care for those 950 people that are on the front lines with this disease. So we thank you for joining us today, but we also want to ask you to join us again in October as we walk to defeat ALS, even though it's going to be COVID style this year. So thank you guys.
Thank you, Steve. Goodness, it's hard to follow Steve, right? Now it's, my name is Michelle Miller. I know many of you here on the call today, but there's some that I don't. So I'll just, please allow me just a minute to introduce myself. I have, like I mentioned previously, worked 11 years with people and families that have been diagnosed with ALS, and the way and how I help families is through fundraising. So I love how Steve continuously uses the word we when he's speaking, because we really are all in this. I've never worked for an organization where there's so many individual people dedicated to continuously find a cure for ALS, to think ahead of the curve of how we can help people that have been diagnosed now and diagnosed in the future. And what on an individual level role for myself is that I'm here to find a cure. This is my 11th year, as I mentioned, and I always say that I am here, like on this earth, to find and ensure that we have a cure for people. My legacy, I always say, is I don't have children, knock on wood, that comes soon. But however, I don't have any children. And so my generation and my legacy, I would love to say, is I helped find a cure for ALS. And we can all say that on this call right now. It can all be similar to when somebody found a cure to polio. There were people that got together that formed a community and found a cure for polio. We can do this right now. Everyone on this call can be and form a community in order for us to say, like, our generation did it. A quick note about myself is that I always let people know is when I say I'm a fundraiser, I'm a hardcore fundraiser. I'm a bulldog. And I sit there and ensure that every program that Steve offers patients here in Texas, every trial that we want to do, every new advocacy job is funds for that. And I say that because it's not just me, but it's also the other people on my team that we introduced you to earlier, because we will call you and we will text you and we will email you. And we're doing it because we're bulldogs to find a cure. I also say it because we also are very tender and aware that you probably are going through a lot, whether it's through COVID and just being through the journey of ALS. So please have open communication with us. We will call and we're going to email and we're going to text you. But if it's not a good time, just reply back quickly and let us know. Because what our goal is to continue the programs or continue how we're helping people ever get that. And I say that with true honesty from my heart. So now let's get started to the fun part. This is what I consider the fun part, and that's how we can raise money for ALS. Our goal this year is a lofty goal, I would say, at $1 million. We are asking everybody in the state of Texas to join together as a beautiful community and raise $1 million. This is a high goal, but it reflects what Texans deserve. Texans deserve to raise $1 million in order to continue our services. You will never find a more dedicated crew than what we have here on our staff. So if you ever need any help with the fundraising portion, please always feel free to reach out to us. Forming together as a community is certainly heartwarming, but we can't do it on our own. We definitely need help. So what I did today was I went ahead and I said, how do we achieve this goal? So I'm going to go over 4 ways that I think that are going to be helpful for everybody of how we can raise our money, how we can raise money, and additionally, how we can come together as a team. So the first way that we can do it is for setting your team goal. So as we speak, let's kind of just come together and think, these are people that I have pictures on here who have set a goal and they have reached the goal. And the best way that they did it was by thinking in advance. Before they just started asking people for money, they sat there and they asked people, they thought logistically who they know, how much money they can raise. And so I invite you to share your goal in this chat box. It's on the bottom right there, of what you would like your goal to be for your team, okay? Think about it, and you don't necessarily have to put it in right now. It's not a set goal, but it's something where you know that you're going to join together with us to reach that $1 million. How are you going to do it? What are you going to set your goal at? Once you set your goal with that, I'll be able to sit there and chat with you and talk to you, and together I can help you reach it. I truly can. As you enter your goal in there, just know that you can win a gift card, but additionally, what I did for these next slides that are coming up is I reached out to teams that, number one, were successful currently during COVID to get tips from them and advice from them so I can share them with you today. Additionally, I reached out to teams who previously have always exceeded their goal. So I'm going to provide you just a few more slides on how we can realistically change our mindset to raise money and to continue. Oh gosh, I see some great goals in here. Somebody just put 10,000 in there. How we can continuously work together as a team. So the number 2 ways that we've had actually is through storytelling and technology. So this is actually Team Judy's Joggers. Judy's Joggers Teen John Lay and Laura BTHO ALS. I've looked at their page and I've spoken with them, and what they do is they share their story. Their advice is to share the journey through all different portions and all different ways of everything. So sharing your story can be difficult sometimes, right? Everybody is at different stages of their journey for ALS, and it's at your comfort level with what you're wanting to do. This picture right here on this slide shows Judy's Joggers, how they shared their journey of ALS on their webpage. So what they do is they log into their webpage on the ALS Association Walk Team page, and they update their page and they share it with others. You can also share it on Facebook, on social media, and you can text it to others as well and put a picture up. If you don't know how to do this, reach out to me or anyone on the team will gladly help you with this. But it's also kind of celebrating yourself with this. And so sometimes the journey can be sad, and you can share what your comfort level is of being sad, but also finding the strength in yourself. I remember when I first started it and I shared my story, I remember thinking like, I am stronger than I thought I was when I shared my story. Like, I am sitting here talking about how I met, when I first started the ALS Association, 15 people in 1 week that were diagnosed with ALS. And I wrote that in my story here, and I remember people coming to me and saying, oh, that's interesting, or that you were vulnerable and opened up about that, because it can be scary to talk about different stages of people's lives. So anyway, so sharing your story on your webpage and through social media is the #2 way. The next step comes from Team Dallas. So let's take a closer look at this slide. So Team Dallas currently, they registered less than a month ago, and they have over $22,000 raised. So I asked them specifically, how did you do it? And how can we share this with other people, specifically people on this call? The way that they did it is very interesting. So they logged into their system and they went to the Social Sharing Center. It's right here, the top. And then they clicked on the Fundraise with Facebook, right here on the bottom. When you click on that, it automatically opens and creates a Facebook fundraiser for you. Meaning, when people donate online to Facebook, the money automatically goes to their team page or the walkers. It's like an instant, it's instantaneous for them. So what Team Dallas did was, if you click on the right-hand side for their roster, is they didn't necessarily ask everybody that they know to donate. Yes, they did. But what they did ask in order to triple what they normally would make, is they asked everybody to join their team as a participant. After they joined the team as a participant, they asked them to create a Facebook fundraiser and asked them to spread the word. So everybody on their team didn't necessarily make a huge donation, as you see, like the $500 and the $1,000, the $365 that are listed there. Really, they raised it through their social media sharing. This right here, it maybe kind of looks a little bit difficult, or maybe it's hard to put two and two together, but please feel free to reach out to me or anybody else on our team, because we can show you how to do this. Additionally, what we can even do, what I think may be helpful, is we can come up with it out for you exactly how to do it, and you can forward it on all to your friends and family, and so it looks like it's coming from you, and it explains what you're asking them to do, and see how that works with people. This is pretty amazing that they've already raised $22,000 with that. So the fourth and final way that people have expressed that they've raised money is pretty amazing. Now, hold on to your hats with this one, because this is pretty interesting what this app does. Go to your cell phone, and on the app, you type in ALS Walk, okay? It pulls up this app that does the most amazing things that I've ever heard of. So, after you pull up the app, register for you, and if you have any questions about registering, I can help you with that. But it goes, after you register, it sits there and it pulls up this first column here where it says send messages. You can sit there and click on the text button. It'll automatically populate information into a text on your cell phone, and you just sit there and type in people's names or contacts for them to for it to send directly from your phone to text people. Additionally, you can have it directly email people, LinkedIn people, and tweet people as well. And this is all done through your app. And then you can keep track of who's doing it and who replied through your app as well, so you're fundraising. The next step that we have that you're able to do, oh wait, on the Facebook, you also are able to schedule Facebook posts on here. So if you have if you have Facebook or social media, you can sit there and you can schedule donation posts to go out on your social media. So you can say, every 2 weeks, I'd like on a Tuesday, I would like for us to ask for a donation or talk about how we are helping the ALS Association and families. So that's yet another thing that we can do on the app. And before I close, I would love to talk a little bit about how lots of times I hear things and about how you've asked people numerous times, right, to make a donation, or you ask year after year and people make a donation and you hate to continuously ask them again. But I always say to that, it's like, you ask year after year, but do we have a cure yet? No, keep asking. I encourage you to keep asking. I also encourage you to understand that we are not like asking people to raise money for a walk. Like, never ask, hey, I'm raising money for the Walk to Defeat ALS, will you make a donation? We are not raising money for a walk. We're raising money for cure to ALS. And we are raising money to ensure that we have services here for Texans that have been diagnosed with ALS, people that are diagnosed now and people that will get diagnosed in the future. That is what we're raising money for with this. And I also always, this is a statistic that has stuck with me for many years. The third time is the charm. So never feel as if you're asking people multiple times. The third time the charm means you make one ask and somebody thinks to themselves, oh yes, I want to make a donation to the ALS Association to help fund cure. The second time is, oh, that's right, I want to make that donation. I forgot about that. And the third time, statistics have shown that that's that third touch point where people then make a donation, because it's right before the walk. So I encourage you to reach out to me, but also continuously ask. And it's not just asking for money. Like I mentioned, it's sharing your story. So I know I zoomed through all of that really quickly, but I wanted to ensure that I gave you really good, solid tips of how to do things. And the number one tip I really want to let you all know is that I am your personal coach. Ann is, Paige's, and Koya's. Always feel to reach out to us and allow us to help you, because we're all in this together. We are all wanting a cure, and we're all fighting by your sides to ensure that we get one. So now it's time for a little quick brain break. I have a hard time saying that. Brain break with Paige.
Thanks, Michelle. Great job. Lots of fun tips on and how to continue to fundraise. So this is just a little brain break, so you can walk away from the numbers for a minute and the text messages and all the Facebook posts, and just relax and have a little bit of fun. So what we're trying to do is, I'll introduce myself a little bit. So I am Paige Rideout. I live just outside of Houston in a town called Friendswood. I've got 3 kids and have been married to a wonderful man for, I want to say it's been 23 years. I kind of lost track after 20, so I guess it's not a bad thing. Anyway, I've been involved with the ALS Association for a little over 5 years now, when a good friend called me and told me that her brother had been diagnosed with ALS. So ever since then, I've been on this journey with you, and we'll continue on this journey. So let's take a little brain break and think of some songs that you would like to see on a playlist as we all walk together to defeat ALS. I'm going to ask that you enter them into the little chat box. Any suggestions that you have for songs. They need to include the word walk. And every submission that you put in, every suggestion, we're going to take your name or your team name and put it into a drawing. So at the end of our kickoff, we're going to have 3 separate drawings for some gift cards to help you with your Walk to Defeat ALS. So any songs that you can suggest in the chat box. We'll also have a lot of other, couple of other opportunities for you to enter into the drawing as well. So our Walk to Defeat ALS, as Tanner said earlier, is a community of celebration of hope. Why we walk is it's a time for us to come together as a community of hope. There is no other community. For those of you who have been here involved with the ALS Association for a while now, you know that there is no other community like the ALS Association. And for those of you who are new, you're going to find out pretty quickly how special this community is. And with COVID, we have taken the opportunity that COVID has given us to come together as a state. So this is our time to walk, our time to be together, and our time to celebrate our ALS community. As I said, it was a community of hope. Hope is a way that we're going to find the key that unlocks ALS. And celebration. The Walk to Defeat ALS is a time to celebrate. It's a time to celebrate you, your dedication, and your determination. Every day should be a celebration. And the Walk to Defeat ALS, that's our time to celebrate together. We want you to join us at 10:30, October 31st, for a community celebration of hope. We'll have a virtual ceremony, opening our walks with a national anthem, our traditional unlock ceremony. For those of you who have not experienced one of our walks, the Unlock to Defeat ALS is a very important part of what we do in our walk. There are several different ways. You will receive a lanyard, and each lanyard has a different color, and they represent different things. You'll also receive a paper key. The blue lanyard and keys represent that you are walking to honor someone. The white lanyard or paper key is you're representing someone who has lost their battle to ALS. The yellow is representing someone who is in the fight with ALS. They've been diagnosed. And the red is for every single person that fights for ALS and advocates for us. So you'll receive those keys when you pick up your packet. That'll be included in there. Also, don't forget to take pictures of your walk and videos and share them with everybody as we celebrate together safely. So now I'd like to take a minute and kind of talk about different ways that you can create your own walk. Like the size of my hat, things are bigger in Texas. So are our walks. So let's take a minute and let's look and see, what is our walk going to look like? Could you ask your local fire department, EMS, police officer? Perhaps there's some city or community leaders that want to join your walk team. Where are you going to walk? Are you going to walk around your neighborhood? Or will you be able to find a cute little path around your kitchen island or through your home? What's the weather going to be like? So you want to make sure that you're planning and preparing for as many different options as you can and invite as many people as you can as well. So let's take another minute, share in the chat box some ideas that you may have, and here's another opportunity for a gift card. So go ahead and put those into the chat box. And we want to make sure that when you host your walk, that you're doing it your way. If you want to create a theme and walk together, all dressed up as a uniform event, that's fantastic. We encourage everybody to do what works for them. And it's going to be great when we see all these pictures and get all these videos and completely blow up social media on October 31st at 10:30 a.m. with everybody sharing and posting statewide the Walk to Defeat ALS. So let's take a minute now and talk about the walk kit. So your walk day kit is going to have lots of fun things that are going to be able to help you celebrate the walk your way. And now it's time for another brain break. 20 years ago, what did that look like? Let's take a minute, go back and think, it was the millennial. Everybody was freaking out about what's going to happen. We're entering into a new millennium. Razor scooters were all the rage, which probably helped a few doctors put a little extra coin in their pocket to support the ALS Association. MTV aired Cribs. Richard Hatch won the first season of Survivor, and Walk to Defeat ALS was born. I became a mom. What were you doing 20 years ago? As we get ready to celebrate 20 years of Walking to Defeat ALS together, let's talk about the items and your teams will be receiving. As you'll see that on the screen, there's a couple of different ways. You're going to receive individual prizes. So as you each hit these benchmarks, these are the different prizes that you'll be able to achieve. And then in the box below, these are our team prizes. As you reach these goals and you make these benchmarks, these are the wonderful things that you're going to be able to come home with. And let's not forget that traveling trophy, the coveted bragging rights that the top teams will have. I love a good challenge. So who's up for a challenge? In honor of the 20th anniversary, get it, Michelle? We're asking you to make a $20 donation, however you see fit. Do you want to donate $20 to a friend's team? Do you want to donate $20 to your team? Would you like to donate $20 to research, durable medical equipment? Take the challenge. Hit it head on, $20. If everybody on this call today, that will make an impact in our mission and the people that we're supporting. It'll take us one step closer to our goal of $1 million. And it'll also bring us one step closer to creating a world without ALS. And now it's time to announce the winners. So our first door prize is for a $25 gift certificate. And the winner is Team Steps of Hope, Alberto Schimmer. Congratulations. Our second winner for another $25 gift certificate. Oh, I'm sorry, hold on. Everybody's still giving great suggestions. Linda, and I'm really sorry, but I'm gonna try and pronounce your last name. Licenario, is that right? Fantastic. Number 3, and this is for a $50 gift card. Adina Porter, congratulations to all our winners today at our first virtual kickoff. There will be more opportunities to win during Team Week, so please be sure to be on the lookout as we'll be announcing those opportunities August 21st through August 25th. So mark your calendars for our Team Week as we get ready for another great walk season.
Well, thanks everybody. I know you just received a lot of information, a lot of encouraging information, but also maybe some new type of information for you as possibly new walkers or returning ones. So I want to give everybody an opportunity. If you had any questions, comments, or maybe suggestions that arose during the meeting, to use the chat box to chat those in. We'll give a couple of minutes for people to do that, and the staff will take an opportunity to answer those questions. So If you have any questions, go ahead and chat those in now. We'll give it a couple of minutes. In the meantime, as you guys are looking at those things, I just want to remind everybody about some upcoming dates. And so if you look at some next steps and some of these things, is we have our Team Week challenges coming up September 21st to 25th. This is a great time to bring your whole team together to raise money and meet some of these challenges and win some awesome prizes. Our event day prep will be October 21st. This is time if you're a team captain, you'll be able to come by and get your walk day kit. And then if you're an individual or team and you won some prizes with fundraising, you pick those up on that day as well. We'll send more details out per city location on where that's going to be as we get closer to the date. And then, of course, our big, huge day, October 31st, 10:30 a.m., our statewide virtual Walk to Defeat ALS. I'm so excited to see videos and pictures from around the state about how people are going to walk their way. And walk in a Texan way as well, and looking forward to that. And so we'll go back. Did we have any questions come in on chat? I don't believe that we did. So this does not mean the questions stop here. As you guys go through this process, remember that your team is here to support you, Team Texas, and we'll follow up with an email about everything we discussed today. But we're excited. Oh, wait, we got a question in here. Can I get my kit by mail as I live far away? Yes, we can mail kits out if you're not able to get to pickup location. So yes, we're able to do that. Yeah, especially in some of our more rural communities as well. We know that we're not going to be able to have physical pickup locations there. So in some of those communities, we'll absolutely get things mailed out, including your incentives and your kits. So we'll make sure they get to you. All right. Well, again, as you guys develop questions, make sure you reach out to the team. But thank you again. We're so excited that we're going to be joining together one day on October 31st to see this. And so just one second, another question. It is not an issue if you end up walking a couple of days before. We would just love to see pictures and videos. That question come in if it's okay if they walk a day before. Absolutely. We'll just be doing the live presentation on October 31st. But if you do it before, we'd love to see pictures and videos, and so that we can share those as well. But you're welcome to walk if you have to on a different day too. So absolutely. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Thanks for joining, and we look forward to a wonderful 2020 walk season. Everybody have a great day.